So, you guys have heard me say it a million times. You heard me the other day, I said it all in the media, you know, a lot of people were bitching. How does Stephan Bonnar get into the Hall of Fame? Blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you what. As far as this company goes, for sure, but as far as this sport goes, this was the most important fight in the history of this company. At the time when this fight happened, okay, you know where we were back then. You know where we were and what was happening with the sport. We were $44 million in the hole into this business. And we had already done a deal on Fox. Remember, anybody who remembers, we did the fight on the Best Damn Sports Show, period. We pulled the highest ratings in the history of that show. And when I say the highest ratings, I mean by a long shot. We killed it. They still didn't do a deal with the UFC, right? So we went out, we shot The Ultimate Fighter around to every network on earth. Nobody wanted The Ultimate Fighter, nobody. So last guys we talked to was Spike TV, they didn't want it either. We said, how about if we pay for it? They liked that idea a lot better. First season cost us $10 million. The minute that thing aired, it started pulling the highest numbers they'd ever had in the history of the network. By the time the Chris Lieben, Bobby Southworth, Josh Koscheck thing happened, we were like 2.3 million viewers, which is crazy, crazy numbers. Crazy numbers for a network like Spike that had just started. And we still didn't have a deal. So we get down to the finale, Diego Sanchez and Kenny Florian fight. Diego annihilates him in a minute. And I'm like, this is so bad, man, this is not good. Then, Stephan Bonnar, Forrest Griffin come out. This fight was so small, it was at the Cox Pavilion. The Cox Pavilion in Las Vegas, right? During 6 minutes of that fight, 12 million people tuned in. For 6 minutes of that fight. You know how crazy that is? You know what insane numbers those are? And if anybody, who was there that night? Was anybody actually in the arena? People were stomping their feet in the place. It sounded like a fucking train was going through that place. There has never been a more important fight in the history of the UFC. There has never been a more important fight except for like UFC 1 in the history of mixed martial arts. And it is our honor to induct Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonnar into the UFC Hall of Fame. It is my honor to induct you into the UFC Hall of Fame. Congratulations, boys.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of this. In the grand scheme of things, fighting people in a cage for money is not that big of a deal. I know that. You know, it's not like a hero profession, even though sometimes it's treated as one. You know, it's not being a soldier on foreign soil or, you know, being a paramedic or a firefighter, but sometimes on special moments it feels like that. And it's the biggest thing I've ever been a part of, and I really appreciate all of you being a part of it with me. Thank you guys so much.
I know my whole life, I had never been the best athlete. I was always average in everything. I had two older brothers who beat my ass a lot, and they were better than me at everything. So a big part of me was wanting to become a big bad ninja so I could kick their ass. And that motivated me a lot. And that was the beauty of MMA. You didn't have to be great at everything. You could be pretty good at everything and be a good MMA fighter. Just got a couple people to thank. Really, in Muay Thai, they're always big about thanking your teachers. So, growing up, man, I wanted to thank my brothers for, you know, kicking my ass and making me tough. You know, my parents, my mom always driving me to Taekwondo. My dad, I was always trying to prove my worthiness to him. My Taekwondo teacher, Dexter Grove, my high school wrestling coach, Kent Lewis, Carlson Gracie, God bless his soul. My first boxing coach, Joe Kane, Duke Rufus, Mark Delagrade, last couple of years, Sergio Pena, Nick Blomgren, my wife Andrea, my best friend Tom Scully, and my 8-month son Stephan Bonnar right there in the front row. And finally, if there's anyone in the UFC I could have picked out to lose that fight to, it would have been Forrest Griffin. You know, as painful as it was to lose that fight, I was so happy for him because he's a great guy, and love you, man.